Hello. What was that? Oh, jeez. The only disadvantage of being in a place like this is the fact that the walls are like paper thin. I don't know if you could hear that. But yeah, here I am live waiting to give you a little rundown of what I feel is a WrestleMania recap. As you know, WrestleMania was last weekend. It was last a week ago today it was night one, and a week ago tomorrow was night two. So, and it's so strange how the two nights are one event, but yet they were pretty much two different nights. So I'm going to do pretty much a recap of both nights, but I'm not going to review every single match because if I do that, this is going to be one long ass video. So I'm pretty much just going to discuss some of my favorite moments, whether it be my least favorite or most favorite. That's my husband relaxing in the background there. All right, so let's go over. Let's start on the low side and let's go over some of the low lights, which of course is going to be. Okay, when we heard that Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan were going to be hosting the show, I think everyone kind of went, huh? And I could tell just by the way that Titus was out there with Hogan. You could tell by the look on his face. He was like, I don't want to do this. Both nights he did that. And it was just, he wasn't looking at him. He wasn't acknowledging him. Well, I mean, he was acknowledging him for his cues and stuff, but he wasn't like, he really did not want to be there. So my heart really went out to Titus O'Neil, and I give him props for dealing with that. And Hogan looked like he was just trying too hard, and you could sense it too. So, all right, Bobby Lashley winning, that actually is a good thing because I think it's gonna be nice to see someone different going for being the champion for a change. And it was a decent enough opening match, and I'm kind of glad they opened it with it. So, seeing Bobby as the champion, I think is going to work out really well. And I really do kind of think they should keep the title on him for a while. So, I think it'd be fun to see the run of the reign of the Almighty as champion. So, I really do look forward to that. My son was not a fan of it, but I loved Cesaro breaking out the UFO on Seth Rollins and then doing the 23 rotations. I knew he wasn't going to do the 100 rotations because that would have been taking up too much time. Not to mention, I don't think the audience had the energy to count to 100 at that point. Not taken away from the audience, just more the fact that they just wanted to, keep the show going. But I think more people were more impressed with the UFO than they were with the rotations. So props to Cesaro for that, and props to Cesaro for winning. It was not one of my son's favorite moments because Seth is his favorite. If any of you follow me on TikTok, the look on my son's face when that happened, it was just like, no. He still doesn't like to be reminded of it. And I'm kind of glad he was working so he didn't see SmackDown. So he wouldn't have seen the fact that they just kept showing that clip over and over and over and over again. The steel cage match was pretty much what I thought it would be. Shane McMahon falling off, cage getting broken, Braun winning. Yeah. See, I will say that Randy Orton winning kind of really let the steam out of the Fiend's sails. And I know that now, after what happened, we saw Monday Night Raw, Alexa Bliss going off in her own direction. It's going to be curious to see how they're going to go with this because I know they want to give Alexa like her own time to shine. But I think maybe they should have waited until after WrestleMania to do that. Because now we kind of are left with the Fiend kind of floating around. And personally, I'm happy that the Firefly Funhouse is back, but what does it mean now that with the Fiend losing to Randy Orton twice? So we'll see. I thought they would have gone in a different direction, but Alexa's like bleeding queen look, that was actually pretty cool. It was freaky, but it was pretty cool, and that giant Jack in the Box was pretty awesome. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, good match. We pretty much knew Logan Paul was going to get physically involved, getting stunned, which everyone enjoyed. But then again, no one really wanted him in there anyway. So I guess you got to have that other token celebrity at WrestleMania. But speaking of celebrities of WrestleMania, oh my God, this is going to take a few minutes for me to take in, but Bad Bunny. Okay, not only did he have a kick-ass entrance with his trademark big rig, but dude, oh my God. Okay, as we all know, when most celebrities do a wrestling match, they usually stay outside a corner until like 2/3 into the matchup, and then they'll come in and do like a couple of big bumps, and then the other wrestler comes in, does it. They do one big bump, get the pin, get the win. Not this time. Bad Bunny, not only did he start the match, he did drop kicks, he did body slams, he did flips, he did punches, he did clotheslines, he did everything. He did the top rope splash, but a Canadian destroyer, everyone knows that one. That is a very complicated wrestling move, and you could do it wrong and it could be bad. Bad Bunny was awesome. And the whole audience there knew, because he was getting a standing O after that was done, and it was just completely amazing. I mean, to win over somebody like Randy Orton, and we all know Randy Orton holds his business to high regard, for him to say that he is a WWE superstar, that is some high praise right there. And Bad Bunny, I know he left so that way he could get started rehearsing for his 2022 tour. Good for him. But personally, I would not mind seeing him back in the WWE anytime soon. I would love to see more with him. I would love to see him wrestle more. He definitely took the business seriously enough to train almost every day, except for that couple of weeks where he went to go to the Grammys. But yeah, Bad Bunny, ay, muy bueno. Mwah. So good. Him and Damian Priest put on an awesome matchup. Miz and Morris, give Miz and Morris some credit. They helped out Bad Bunny a lot, and it was just amazing. It was a great match, one of the best highlights I ever seen. And yes, I'm hoping Bad Bunny comes back, maybe do a SummerSlam match. I don't know, fingers crossed. But yeah, I would love to see Bad Bunny back in the ring. I think pretty much the only other highlights I've got to worry about, Rhea Ripley. I was a little worried there because I did think that Rhea Ripley was going to lose, because it's always been a theory that I've followed ever since I was younger, that any wrestler who has a live entrance usually winds up losing their match, with a couple of exceptions. And it seems like Rhea Ripley was that exception, because last week she had her live entrance with Ash Costello singing in "This Is My Brutality." And I later found out that she and the band members were wearing some of Rhea's old vests that she made. So that was pretty awesome. So Rhea coming in with a live entrance got me a little worried that she was going to lose, but nah, she won. Rhea Ripley and Asuka put on a really awesome matchup. I was very entertained, and sorry to say, but I think that was really the only highlight of night 2, because the triple threat for the world title, it was all right. Nothing against Roman, nothing against Daniel, nothing against Edge. The three of them put on a really awesome matchup, but I kind of felt like not. Actually, I shouldn't be disappointed. I'm kind of happy Roman won. Although, personally, yeah, I would have loved to have seen Edge won. My son, he was pissed. He did not want to talk about WrestleMania after seeing that. But I have to say, Roman winning, I think, kind of makes sense. But now it kind of feels like, who's going to be the one to take the title off of him? If anything, what Friday Night SmackDown might give a clue as, it's going to be probably building up for Cesaro, which I think is actually going to be good because I think it's about time for Cesaro to have his run. I mean, that win at WrestleMania is definitely going to push him in the right direction. But I mean, yeah, it was a good match, okay ending. I know people are getting technical. They're like, well, Edge was on top of Daniel Bryan, so technically Edge. Nah, Roman pinned both of them. Roman won. And is head of the table. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge him. The other matches, I'd have to say, though, I'm just scrolling through here because I guess really for me, the other matches weren't really much to write home about. I wasn't really big on the women's tag team matches, either one. So I really could shrug those off. I already talked about the cage match, same thing. Intercontinental title match, kind of saw that coming. That's another one of falling under live entrance, lose match idea. Big E had Wally singing his entrance theme. Big E lost. I think they were kind of building to that anyway. That big guy, Commander Azizi, I think I pronounced his name wrong, but the commander making his debut, that was a out of nowhere debut. So props to that, keeping that a secret. But Sheamus and Riddle, whatever. But let's face it, the match we all talk about, the match that mattered the most out of that entire show was the history-making match that happened on night one, and that was, of course, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. I loved that match. It was wonderful from start to finish, and I love that first 30 seconds of the match where the two of them just had to acknowledge that they were making history. And Michael Cole said it. 2 black women headlining WrestleMania. That was brilliant. As a Latina, I was like in tears myself watching that match. Now we need to get a Latina in the main event. But anyway, it was just brilliant. I loved it. It was amazing. And just those last couple of minutes of Bianca, just with the hair whip and then the KOD and then that 3 count. My only regret is the fact that WWE did not keep the cameras rolling soon after the win. I know they had, I guess Peacock gave them a time limit. I wish they kept it on because I would have loved to have seen the celebration afterwards. And if you notice closely after Bianca was declared the winner, it looked like her father was getting ready to jump the guardrail and enter the ring. It was brilliant. It was emotional. It was everything a main event should be. It was great fight. A lot of emotion, great storytelling, 2 superior athletes just putting on a show. It was so good. I'm so happy for Bianca. I gotta admit, I was a little worried because after Wednesday, I was wondering when she was going to get her side plates. Because if you notice at the NXT taping, if you look really closely, it still says legit boss on the belt. So I was like, is Bianca not going to get her side plates? Because usually, because like I did with Escobar at Stand and Deliver, they showed a video of him getting his side plates on the belt. Well, I wanted to see a video of Bianca getting her side plates, but I guess not. So, which is fine. But on Friday night when she came out, I did notice there they were. There was the EST side plate, so I'm happy about that. But I'm just like so amazed. And to follow that, speaking of NXT, that moment where Rhea and Bianca came out and were in the ring with Raquel Gonzalez, the new and current women's champion, to see the 3 of them like that, it was like, oh my God, this is a whole new world, a brand new beginning for women's wrestling. These 3 women, NXT built, coming up, 2 of them coming up to the main roster, making names for themselves at WrestleMania. I mean, this is just amazing. I'm so happy. And if there was a YouTube video they put out where the 3 of them were doing a photo shoot, and Rhea came up with the idea, and I am salivating over this idea. When the 3 of them retain their titles, all up until Survivor Series. If they do the tri-brand thing again, I would love to see Raquel versus Bianca versus Rhea for the dominant champion. Oh, that would be so amazing. The three of them like that. Oh, such an exciting idea. Fingers crossed that that actually does happen. But if I had to give WrestleMania a, because I do a 1 to 5 scale, I would have to say probably a 4. Um, Only because, like I said, the highlights for me were on night 1, Bianca and Bad Bunny. Those were really the highlights. Night 2 had some decent moments, but not enough to warrant, you know, if I had to replay either one of those nights, it would be night 1. Oh, and another side note about that, about night 1, my heart went out to Mandy. That was very embarrassing. But to their credit, they were able to make sure that the ramp was dry the next day. But yeah, to have your big WrestleMania moment, that kind of reminds me of Ultimo Dragon when he was coming out. I think it was WrestleMania. I forget which WrestleMania it was. Ultimo Dragon was coming out of, and as he was walking out, he fell on his face. At least Mandy fell backwards, but it was still. Ugh, I saw that moment. It was like, ooh. She recovered quick. She didn't dwell on it, but no sooner did that happen, and all of a sudden, all the gifts, all the memes, all the photos just came out, and it was just. Ugh. But overall, yeah, if I had to pick either night to watch over again, I would pick night 1, honestly. But it just, like I said, I personally like the 2 night format because I don't, as much as I love wrestling, I also know that I don't know if my body could physically handle sitting in an arena for 7 hours of wrestling. Not a knock on that. That would be a dream for me. But I also know that your body can only stand so much energy. That's kind of the problem what they had with WrestleMania 35 being 7.5 hours long. Because by the time Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte had their main event, the whole crowd was already spent from all the energy they had from Kofi's match on. Kofi's match was really the highlight, was really at that moment before their main event was the highlight. So everyone just kind of expounded all their energy then that by the time the women were main eventing, everyone was just kind of like, yay, 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 that deal. So I personally like the 2 night deal because after you do the first night of wrestling, go back to your hotel, get a good night's sleep, and then the next day you're all energy, jazzed up, ready to go, get in the show. Second night, good. Plus, if anything you have to correct from the night before, you can have it ready for night 2. Like I said, with the rain and all. So personally, yeah, I like the 2 night format, and it was nice seeing a live audience reacting. So overall, yeah, 4 would be my rating for WrestleMania, and I'm really happy that it was actually a good WrestleMania. It always seems like WrestleMania never has that good build-up anymore, and then when it comes, it delivers. So, but in this case, night 1, yes, night 1 would be a 5, night 2 would be a 4. So, would it be a 4? No, night 2 would actually be a 3. Because really, for me, the only highlight of that day was Rhea Ripley winning. So, but all right, so that's it. That's my WrestleMania recap. Like I said, I didn't want to go over. I didn't want to go over every single matchup because, I could if I wanted to, but I really didn't. So, but yeah, that's my overall review of WrestleMania. Thumbs up. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to entertain you sometime in the future with another review. So, we'll see. All right. Take care.